Hello, my Mossy friends! My name is Christine, aka Mossy Motham, and welcome to my channel! Today is a little bit of a long one, even though it says it's a speed build. It is 3 times fast, but I winded up just having a ball and taking over a whole huge area of my island. So I built a drive-in movie theater, as well as for an area when people visit my island through a dream address, where they can, get tools and wear an outfit. So that's right off of the resident services area. And I also added I didn't really know what to do with my Stonehenge item I got from Gulliver. So I kind of made this weird ritual area, like right off of the bonfire / dream address area. So as you see, I wind up futzing around and, sliding things back and forth. So I try to cut out a lot of it. I'm just a very indecisive person. So, like for example, with this bonfire area, I was trying to make the bonfire centered behind the house, but then at the same time, like Antonio's house that's right in front of it, but at the same time, it was gonna be off center of resident services. Like it would have felt weird. So I winded up making it line up with the edge of resident services, which means it's off center from Antonio's house, if that makes any sense. You'll see like as the video continues. So unfortunately, Poppy, who's very adorable, she wanted to, see what was going on, but it was kind of annoying because of course, she sat right exactly where I was trying to build. And I also caught that mosquito. It was just really annoying, and I hate when they buzz, and I'm just like, either bite me or, get on with it. And in every video, I have my dream address in the description, but at the end of this video, if you make it all the way through, you'll also see that I updated it with Luna, and she'll have my dream address on screen as well. I had to hop onto Elijah's account to craft more of the log stools that I was having underneath the things around the bonfire, because Elijah's account was the one that had the DIY recipe for it. And I wanted to continue building on mine. So that's what that transition was about. Previously, this area was just kind of a flower breeding area where I was trying to make hybrids, but I didn't really water them. I just kind of planted a bunch of flowers, and how I like to play with the flowers is I kind of just plant a whole bunch of them on the ground and let it do its thing. So I don't actually water them every day. I probably should, but it's so tedious, so I wait until it rains in order to have like more flowers. So it's very slow, but it works. So throughout this speed build, you'll see that I wind up digging up a lot of those flowers and just selling them to the Nook brothers. My two favorite NPCs in Animal Crossing New Horizons is of course Celeste, because she's a sweet baby and we must protect her at all costs, as well as Flick. I love his bug models. I'm not a huge fan of his fish models, and I understand why. You know, he makes them kind of small because bugs are his passion. But I, for a while, would just like time travel if I had him on my island. So I would do the bug model for the day, because unfortunately you can only do one at a time. Then I would hop onto Elijah's account, do a bug model, and then I would time travel a day and then time travel back again, so I could just go back and forth between those 2 days and get as many bug models as possible. I just think it adds really nice decoration around. I know for any people who are trying to have themed islands, it would like these bug models are really good if you want to do kid core, or if you want to do, of course, cottage core or fairy core aesthetics. I don't really say I have a theme going on, it's kind of just like I have weird ideas that pop in my brain and I just want to build something. And I just like incorporating these bugs. But around my Stonehenge area, you can see I have a whole bunch of bug models, way too many for me to decorate with. So they're just kind of hanging out right there for the time being, and as time goes on, obviously, and I build more things, I'll have new ways of incorporating them instead of just like standing around. Like I like to put them in my garden or in between areas. And I love that Dottie is just casually eating a sandwich on my flower seat. We just had to have some slow motion action of that. Something that I think is really funny about the birdcage item is it's a craftable item. So, and it comes with a bird inside of it. So somehow, you know, with your resources, you wind up crafting a live bird. But again, it's very meta because you can have bird villagers. So does that mean that you could craft your villagers, you know? So I was testing around the campfire with little filler custom designs like the mushroom ring and the rocks and stuff, but because I wanted to have the path curved, the filler custom designs didn't fit exactly right, so I ended up just keeping it like plain dirt. And I still want to keep my flower breeding area, but obviously I don't need as many of the regular, I want the hybrids. So you'll see that I winded up behind Stonehenge keeping some of the windflowers, but I didn't want it to seem like purposely placed, so I wanted to have it kind of seem more naturally scattered, but also at the same time not have colors sitting next to each other. So see, I like fuss around and like move the white flowers and the red and the orange elsewhere, and then the rest I winded up selling to Timmy and Tommy. Obviously, because this build, when it isn't sped up, took many hours, because I like to fuss around and think and then see how it looks afterwards. So I winded up popping so many balloons because I'm right next to the ocean, so that's a nice positive. But also at the same time, because I was popping so many balloons, it was giving me a lot of really weird items. So that's that pile in front of the bonfire, or next to it, I should say, that winds up growing. That extra pile moves onto the beach later on. Previously, those stalls had my spare DIYs. So this was kind of like a trading area I made. I was also deciding which simple panels I wanted to have. Did I want to have the white or the black? And I went with the black. I was also torn as well because I kind of wanted to have 3 panels wide because, of course, if you ever see a movie screen, for the most part they're not square, they're like rectangular, so having it 3 tiles wide, or 3 panels wide I should say, to me at least seems more like that rectangular shape you'll see. But I went with 2 because I just don't have the custom design slots to have 3 separate credit areas. So I tried looking for custom designs for credits, like end of movie credits, but I winded up not really liking any of them, so on Elijah's account, I made my own. And as I was mentioning, I didn't want to make 3 tile wide because or 3 panel wide because I just don't have the space in my custom design area. I honestly really want Nintendo to give us more. I doubt they will, but I need more custom design spaces. I tried collecting all of the throwback car beds, but I am missing the color in white, or the car in white. I just couldn't find someone to touch trade with me, and I didn't want to wait all day for it, so I was just like, you know what, like, later on down the road I will get it in white to add. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I will say again, Elijah's account is the one that has Nintendo Online. So that's why you see that little transition and it's suddenly daytime, because I had hopped on his account, made the design, and then hopped back on to my account. Also, quick stop to appreciate my Hopper boy singing. I wind up changing the custom design for the credits because it just seemed very bland. So I had edited it on Elijah's account again. So you see that transition where, so I took a screenshot to see what it looked like before, and then I was kind of comparing it to see if I liked it like while I was editing it better, and I like that it's more filled out seeming instead of just the white lines, which are supposed to be like people's names at the end of it. And I did want to reuse some of those stalls that I had that were holding my DIYs previously. So next to the drive-in movie theater area, I made like a little snack area. And I had 2 lines for it because in real life, you know, sometimes they get really crowded and you have to have those 2 lines. You may notice that on my beach area, I have like a surf shop. I actually did a video for it. It was my first speed build on the channel, so if you want to check that out, video will be in the description. I've just really loved reworking this whole area of the map. I winded up changing the popcorn colors, or the popcorn machine colors a few times because the grill I had was in red, so I didn't want to have a pink or another red machine right next to it. So that's why I traded for the black one that's next to my resident services area. I moved those purple flowers around the fountain because they were just kind of placed there. I also had villagers over here before I condensed them more into their own area. So the purple flowers were to the left of Zucker's house when he used to live on my island. Because if you hadn't noticed, I like to have flowers around the houses, and I like to have, coordinate a flower per villager. Just to kind of use up my hybrids and add decoration, I don't know. But unfortunately, I am one purple pansy short, so I'm still trying to breed or find someone to trade me a purple pansy. So if you see, I have two different piles. The one pile of items next to Stonehenge, that's items that I'm definitely not using in this build, so stuff that I want to take back and put in my storage. And then the other pile next to the flashy flower sign, that's stuff that I want to use potentially in this build, but I had just dropped the items so I could fill up my pockets with flowers to sell. I winded up condensing the bug models the spare bug models by the front entrance to the drive-in movie theater. That's not the permanent spot, but that's just so they're not all scattered around everywhere. You can also see that I'm picking up all of my spare items and putting them on the beach, any ones that I don't want, just so it doesn't feel very cluttered in my work area. Now I'm starting to fuss with the placement of my race car beds, because again, I want to have that kind of natural vibe to it. Instead of them all lined up in neat, even rows, I want it to feel like they're more organic. I know it's weird saying because, of course, everyone knows I place the items, but I didn't want it to be all in line with each other. And something that I always like to have in every single one of my builds is accessibility. So I like to be able to use all of my objects and walk in between them and everything. So a few times you'll see that I'm playtesting it almost. And there's another jump in time because you can tell it's nighttime. But I winded up taking a long time trying to put dresses down to simulate people, and then I winded up scrapping it, so that's why I just cut it out of the video. And I'm suddenly wearing glasses because my inventory was full, and those were one of the items. So you didn't miss much in that cut. Something I always do when building is I like to place the items first, and then I put down the paths. So that's why, you see, I'm moving everything around again, and it might, take less time to just put the paths down, but I really hate putting paths, so I like to put exactly how many I need instead of, erasing them and coming back. So it's just how my mind works is I have everything laid out, and then I scoot them to fill in the paths underneath them, and then I scoot it back. I passed the controller at this point to Elijah to plan his account to just see my progress and get any input. So that's why, you know, his character is kind of walking around and touching everything. And also I had gotten some custom design, like funnel cake, to add. People are so creative, I can't get over it. Like, they just take this hat and they make it look like, you know, it's food on a plate. It's really neat. And then this other cut is me finally updating my dream address. So thank you all so very much for watching. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you visit snakes in your dreams. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye!